HarperCollins presents Hercule Poirot's Silent Night by Sophie Hannah. Read by Julian Rhind-Tutt. For Kate Jones, who is brilliant at everything and whose editorial suggestions improved this book immensely. Prologue. New Year's Eve, 1931. My experiment was not working. I laid down my pen and considered tearing the sheet of paper into strips. In the end, I crushed it into a jagged ball, aimed it at the fire that was blazing in the grate, and missed. Hercule Poirot, sitting across the room from me, looked up from the book he was reading. "Your endeavour displeases you, mon ami." Dismal failure. Try placing an unmarked page in front of you. Immediately, your mind will produce better ideas. His green eyes darted to and fro between the neat pile of paper on the corner of his desk and the crumpled ball of my failed project, which stood out prominently against the backdrop of his otherwise pristine London drawing room. I knew what he was thinking. On my way to get more paper, I would surely take the opportunity to rectify the disorder that was entirely of my creation. Hercule Poirot is not a man who can tolerate anything in his immediate vicinity being in the wrong place for more than... how long? If I did nothing, would it be seconds or minutes before he asked me to tidy up the mess I had made? Determined not to tarnish my record as an exemplary guest, I moved quickly. My second attempt landed the offending object in the fire, where it belonged. I returned to my armchair without availing myself of a clean sheet of paper. "You do not wish to try again?" said Poirot. "You are giving up on your, what did you call it? Your top-hole idea?" "Some ideas are appealing only until one tries to make them a reality," I said. My mistake had been to try to turn mine into after-dinner entertainment, when it was clear to me now that any species of fun was the very last thing it should be. "Perhaps you could tell me what you had in mind, if it is no longer to be the great surprise." It was nothing, really. I was too embarrassed to discuss it. "I shall prepare a crossword puzzle instead." Such secrecy. Shaking his head, Poirot leaned back in his chair. "Always, when I think about secrets, I shall remember the words of Miss Verity Hunt in her bright red evening gown. Do you recall them, Catchpool?" Unfortunately, yes. I considered Miss Hunt's supposedly sage advice to be quite the most ludicrous bilge I'd ever heard. Predictably, Poirot repeated the irritating axiom, perhaps in the hope of provoking me. "Whatever you most wish to keep hidden, steel yourself for the ordeal ahead, and then tell it to the whole world. At once you will be free. This is, I think, great wisdom." "It's codswallop," I said. "You will be free only from the secrecy, which you chose in the first place because you preferred it to all the things you won't be free of for very long if you reveal all. Endless interference and pestering from every quarter, no doubt. And that is if you are not breaking the law. In the case of a criminal, let us say a murderer, you would hardly be free from the hangman, would you, if you announced that you were the guilty party?" Poirot nodded. "I too am considering the case of a murderer." Neither of us spoke the name of the one who was still very much in our minds. "It is true," he said. "Once the crimes were committed, subterfuge became necessary in order to evade justice. But I wonder, without the determination to keep the terrible secret at all costs, there would have been no motive to commit any murders at all." "Say that again, Poirot. I thought I must have misheard." "It is obvious. If the killer had not decided that it was worth committing 2 murders in order to keep the secret hidden—" "That is quite wrong," I interrupted, unable to contain my protest. His mistaken pronouncement was as intolerable to me as my paper ball on the floor had been to him. The motive for the murders was not a fear of other people finding out. That wasn't it at all. "What fit of delusion is this? Of course that was the reason." "No, it was not."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?